Amy, well, it's great to meet you. I don't really know much about you, so it would be great to know a bit about what you do and what your job role is, and kind of what it is like day to day as you.
Wow, that's big. So I'm Amy.
Mhm.
I work as a scenic painter, a prop maker, an art facilitator.
A lot.
Basically anything where I get to be creative. But my
Yeah,
main role is within the theatre, hopefully helping create magic.
that's very cool. I actually do a bit of magic myself. I'm actually a magician, so that's
No. Can you do tricks?
Pardon?
Can you do tricks?
I can do tricks. I don't have any tricks on me though. Oh, I should have brought something.
Next time.
Next time. Definitely next time. So we both dabble in the art of magic.
Yeah. Yours is probably, I don't know, more one-on-one than mine.
Yeah, probably. You're like more behind the scenes, I guess, than in the forefront.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So what do you most enjoy about your job doing the scenic things?
Well, probably just that, when you create magic, when an audience believes what you've made. So sometimes it might be simply making a piece of cardboard look like, I think I've got Halloween on the brain, I'm afraid, like a tombstone or something.
Yeah.
And just people believing that and being immersed in the art and feel like they're there.
Yeah, definitely.
So I think it's probably that, and the fact that no day is really the same. So my job is so completely different from one day to the next. I could be painting a moldy wall today, and then tomorrow I might be making R2D2s for a festival.
Yeah.
So there's no, like when I was thinking about questions you might ask me, I was like, one of the questions they'll ask is what you do, and it's actually really hard to explain because it's so broad, and that's what makes it so exciting.
Yeah.
And sometimes someone will ask me to do something, I'm like, oh, okay, I've never done that before, but I'll work it out. And that's
like really, each day is just completely different, and you're just creating new things. And
absolutely,
yeah, so nothing's the same, and that just sounds amazing. So then what has been your favorite thing to create?
I didn't make it, but I painted it. One of the companies I work for, so I'm freelance, so I work for lots of different companies, but one of the companies I work for, Emergency Exit Arts, have a ginormous disco turtle, which they take to festivals. I painted its flippers and its head, and I feel like I know the turtle. We've been to festivals together. And we go around festivals making people happy with a troupe of 20 mermaids, and the joy it brings to kids, adults. It's just it's pretty epic, and it's just nice because everybody just joins in.
Exactly.
Yeah, something like that I think is probably my favorite.
That does sound awesome. Like I'm just imagining what you're telling me in my brain, like with a giant turtle, like with a bunch of people partying around it.
It has someone on top of it as well, DJing. So playing really, really cheesy music.
So
really
like a giant party turtle, basically.
Yeah, that's pretty much. It's got lights. It has UV bubbles coming out the back of it. It's exactly what you're imagining.
Mental, absolute mental.
We're always on the lookout for more mer people if you ever want to come and dance like a lunatic with us.
So I'm always up for that. I'm always up for a good dance. So you create a bunch of different things. You've got a bunch of different job roles in what you do. So what qualifications and what like experience did you have to get into what you do now?
So I took what was at the time quite a conventional path.
Yeah.
I learned on the job. So I was really lucky. I was working at the London Dungeons, and the props department there is amazing. And I learned so much just by working with them. And then I took myself off and did courses at the weekends and things like that. Because actually, when I was looking at college and university, I didn't know what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
So I studied art and drama, but I didn't make the connection of what my career could be with those two things joined together. And in fact, I was up in the countryside, and scenic painting just wasn't a job I'd ever heard of.
Yeah.
But you can you can do it at university, but a lot of the things I've learned is by doing on a job. I think there's only so much that you can do at college and uni, because you just get everything thrown at you. They can't train you, I don't think, to paint a disco turtle one day and an Arctic two the next day. They can give you the tools to do it, but it's actually learning while you do it. But there's a lot more courses now available than when I was 18. So you can do the uni course, and there's some brilliant ones out there. There's also really good apprenticeships, like at the National Theatre, and they do a really good apprenticeship scheme, and you can do that in scenic painting. I think, in fact, at the National, I think you might be able to do a production, like a backstage, so you get a taster for like carpentry, metalwork,
it's like all the different aspects of behind the scenes. So
you could see which bit really suited you. But yeah, I learned on the job, and then did some weekend courses, just topping up my skill set and learning about more products, I suppose.
That's so cool, because I guess like everything's quite hands-on and things. So, you know, if you're told to make something, you kind of need to work it out and how you're going to do this different thing. Because if it's something like out of the ordinary, like R2D2, which obviously we don't have in the real world, then you need to figure out how to create that yourself, you know. So I guess that totally makes sense, how you kind of just worked along and kind of found your way to what you do now.
Well, and the people you work with, you know, you skill share. So because someone will have had to paint a drum with glittery green paints at some point, so you can ask people and talk to people. Quite lucky in my job that people love to share. They like to help people. I know not everywhere, but in certain careers, like, people are quite shut off, like it's a secret how to do things. Whereas I think in my job, the people that I've come across, we're quite good at going, hey, look, I've done that before, let me show you, which is lovely and very useful. Sorry.
No, that's so cool. So you've gone up all the way up, right? Are you at your peak? Are you at where you want to be now? Or do you think there's something more that you want to get into or look into?
For me, I'm very happy where I am.
Yeah.
I think some people would probably potentially want to do more design work. You could be a designer for the West End, or, you know, an in-house production designer. But for me, actually, I like realizing other people's designs. And I just enjoy that. Again, it's almost as exciting for me you realize a designer's idea. Like, they'll come in and they'll say, Amy, I want this to do this, and I think it should look like this, and I want the audience to feel like this. And then you create something, and you realize that you've made their vision, and the excitement on their face is pretty stunning.
That must be very difficult, because I can just imagine someone walking into the room and being like, I want this big elaborate thing, and I want these things to happen, and like making completely impossible things happen, and then you just creating that. The designer must be absolutely mind blown when you bring up with that incredible creation.
I'm not going to lie, Liam, there's quite often a little bit where the designers like, yeah, and then it's going to breathe fire. Sure. And then I go away and digest what they've said and work it out. But quite often there's a bit of like, yeah, I can do that.
Hopefully not too much disappointment saying like, yeah, we can't quite do that.
Sometimes expectations are pretty high. I think we usually find a nice, happy balance.
Yeah.
But I mean, some places, if you've got all the budget in the world, I know that there's been shows at some theatres where they've actually made it rain on stage and had a sandstorm and all these things. But sometimes especially when you're doing outdoor theatre, it's hard because the audience can see every side of it. So doing your magic, it can be a bit tricky.
Yeah, definitely. Like I went to an open air theatre once and it had like a turntable thing in the center and like all the seats around the outside. And literally there was only a tiny bit at the back where, anyone could exit and stuff off of the stage. And I was like, literally every angle, people could see what was going on. So there always had to be something going on in every single bit.
And there was probably a stage manager stood in that little bit that you couldn't see.
Yeah.
Pointing and telling everyone where everything needs to go.
Yeah. Okay, so what advice would you give to any young person who wants to get into the same career field as you?
Do it. It's awesome. It's not the best advice. There's always a way in.
Yeah.
There's so many different routes to be able to do what I do, and none of them are wrong. And you can do it on such a grand scheme. I mean, my job exists in television, in film, at a theme park. There is if you love art and you love theatre, it's a great way to be able to combine those two loves and make it into a job. But I just say to any young person, you work a lot. Make sure you enjoy your job. There are jobs you can enjoy. And enjoy life. So make sure you enjoy your job. I don't know. Just dream big. It's
that totally makes sense. Like I've always been obsessed with like theatre and the arts and everything like that. And I used to really want to perform on the stage and everything like that. But then like over time, I've kind of realized that I really want to get into like directing and producing films and things like that. So, over time, my kind of dream job has kind of changed, and, you found your career over time and working in the industry, which is really interesting.
Other jobs on. So, I didn't come out of college and go into scenic painting.
Yeah.
I tried a lot of other things, most of them in theatre, and just went, oh God, I can get paid to do that. Wow. Okay, great. Yeah. But that wasn't until I was in my late 20s that I realized actually what I wanted to do, and that my job existed and I could get paid to make really cool things and make people happy.
Yeah, make people's dreams come alive.
Yeah, so I guess that would be a piece of advice I give to people, that if you try something on and it doesn't suit, you don't have to do it for the rest of your life.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that is basically my last question, but we'll leave it off with one fun question. Okay, so what's your favorite food?
Oh God, that is a lot of pressure.
Mate, it's such a difficult one.
Oh my God, that's like asking me my favorite song. That's massive. Like, it depends what mood
that's
I'm
even
in.
More difficult.
Oh, and I don't want to come across as boring either. Love a roast dinner, but how
everybody loves a roast dinner.
Oh, chips and gravy as well, though. Chip butty. Oh my goodness.
Anything to do with chips.
Potato. I was brought up on a potato farm. Here we go.
Well, that makes sense.
Jacket potato, roast potato. I'm there.
Yeah. All the potatoes then. That's
All the potatoes.
Favorite food. All the potatoes.
If you add gravy, it only gets better.
Exactly. Like my mum's half are northern, and they are obsessed with gravy. So like I've just been brought up with everything gravy. Oh.
I've got a Canadian friend that puts cheese and gravy on everything.
That's called poutine. I went to Canada once, and they had like dedicated places called like poutine places. Oh.
Yeah, happy day.
Yeah, it is so good. I highly recommend it. Highly recommend it.
Well, I mean, I love cheese, and we've already discussed I love potatoes and gravy. We're pretty much there, right?
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, see you later. It was great having you.
Enjoy. Thank you very, very much.
You too. Bye.